carpet beneath my feet is thick and plush, muffling the sound of my footfalls. Which is not to say that there is no warning of my approach. In this part of the palace, the walls are inset with viewing windows, enabling guards to keep an eye on foot traffic in all directions. After all, you wouldn't want anyone being able to sneak into the royal treasury. Perish the thought. One guard on duty, his attentive gaze dutifully sweeping back and forth with the occasional check behind him. Good. There is little in the way of extra ornamentation in these corridors. No paintings on the walls, no hothouse blooms forced into show, only the patterned and gilded ceiling tiles. I crane my neck upwards to stare at the muted, non-reflective golden surfaces, paying no attention to where I am walking. Oh! I guess I fell. That is, of course, the moment that my foot catches on the edge of that plush length of carpet, throwing me to the ground with a thump. I don't cry out all that loudly. I've only tripped. It's nothing serious. I'll just climb back to my feet. Ow! And that is when I first attempt to put weight onto my left ankle. Uh-oh. This time... oh, hi. This time the noise I'm making is enough to draw the guard a few steps away from his post. Still more than close enough to see anyone approaching, but now also able to get a better look at me. Are you all right, miss? I'm fine. I wave him away, and try again to place my foot on the ground, then pull it back with a sharp sss and clutch at the wall for support. I distinctly do not look at the guard, but male instinct prompts him to step a little closer to my obvious, if false, distress. Come closer. Can you walk? I'm not sure. I'll call for another guard to help you to your room. No, please don't. I'll be alright. I just need to rest for a few minutes. You can't rest here, miss. I use the wall for support and take a hesitant step, trying to look as fragile as possible. Just a little bit longer. You can't walk on your own. I'll have to summon someone. I don't want to be a bother. It is my duty. No need. I don't know who the... Oh, it's probably Callum, though, right? Because we're on the heist together. No need. It is you, Callum. Hey! Prince Callum walks out of the treasury, which he entered earlier, in full view of the guard, under the pretext of returning a bit of royal jewelry worn at the ball. Long, smooth strides bring him swiftly to my side, and avoid the possibility of any inconvenient jingling. Ah. So clever. I will escort this young woman. Yes, your highness. Callum bends, bringing his shoulders to a level where I can more easily fling a grateful arm around them. As he straightens, his support pulls me against him, not so coincidentally helping to conceal the faint bulge produced by stowing a large bag of coins out of sight. Very clever. He nods to the guard. Carry on. And we leave the man to lock the door behind us now that the gold has already flown away. Awesome. We keep up the charade on our return to Oscar's quarters, in case of observation. Caution costs nothing, except my pride. Oh, the music changed. I cannot help but feel strange, clinging as I am to the body of a man I barely know. Prince of hidden schemes and unpredictable violence. Callum is well-muscled, stronger and more solidly built than Oscar, and pressed so close to me that I can feel the heat of his flesh. Oh no, Madeleine, focus! We're not going for Callum this time. Please. My duties to the prince have not left me time for much experience with the rougher sex. The support of his arm should, I suppose, make me feel safe and protected. Instead, it leaves me off balance and vulnerable. It would be easy in this position for him to accidentally to slide a possessive arm around my waist, to belittle me for the helplessness I have been made to feign, and yet his hands never stray. I guess Callum's the real proper gentleman in this game. Interesting. Failure to act like an odious brute at every opportunity does not make him a hero. It only means that he is at worst not that sort of villain. What sort of man is Prince Callum? So far, he has revealed little but anger and ruthless determination. I have been forced to give him my allegiance, and for safety's sake, I must pretend complete loyalty, but that does not stop me from thinking. His secrecy suggests that he has enemies within the palace. Or else, he was quite clearly bitter about his position as the youngest son, and it does not seem that Friedrich and Paloma are expending much effort to polish him for a good marriage. But if he rescued a princess from peril, the same act of heroism that I had hoped to achieve for Oscar might instead benefit Callum. He could not be rewarded with his sister's hand, of course, but the story would travel. If that is his plan, it would make no difference to him if Oscar were to receive a small bit of the glory, or even the affections of this particular princess. We could still stand to gain. But, rationally, is the chance of playing hero worth the risk he took by attacking myself and Oscar by threatening murder? It doesn't add up. Either there's something I'm not seeing, or Callum is not acting rationally. Which is worse, indeed. Hey, Oscar. The instant the door closes behind us, Oscar rushes to my side. Madeleine! I'm fine. It was an act. I retract my arm from Callum's shoulders and stand on my own 2 feet. Your assistance was competent. Is that supposed to be a thank you? But you can't thank someone for doing what you forced them to, can you? Oscar, it's all right. No, it's not. He turns to face Callum. Oh gosh. Oscar's gonna go defend my honor. Are you done with her? Hardly. This was only the first step. We have the ransom. Now we have to reach the rendezvous. And where's that? Forest, couple miles away. Outside the palace? The guards may have missed the initial intrusion, but they're certainly guarding all exits now. Which means... you know a secret way out. He only nods, his eyes locked on Oscar's. I hold my breath, anticipating an explosion, but when Oscar speaks, his words are carefully measured. You're not taking her without me. I need a blade I can rely on. That means her and not you. I am not actually that bad with a sword. Whatever's going on, you expect it might end in a fight. Wouldn't 3 on your side be better than 2? He's thinking it through. Good for you, Oscar. Yay! If you really didn't trust him, you wouldn't want to leave him here while you're not even in the palace. Can he actually fight? Would you care to try me? I'm asking her, not you. He's a prince, of course he can fight. But is he any good? Compared to, say, myself? That question is a trap, plain and simple. Whatever I say, they will both hear it. I guess this is your chance to get more on Callum's side if you want, or get in more with Oscar. He's better than you. Do I want to be diplomatic? Let's be diplomatic. I'm scared about picking that one. He's good enough in a fair fight. Fairness may be in short supply. He won't embarrass you if that's what you're asking. In all truth, I'm not certain whether or not it is a good idea to take Oscar along. It depends on what Callum's plans really are, and that is a question I can't answer. He's assembled a ransom, but as Oscar said, he sounds like he's preparing for a fight. Maybe he's just guarding himself in case the kidnappers try to capture him as well. Or maybe there's something else going on here. If there's a battle waiting for us, Oscar could get hurt. But with all the secrets and schemes going on here, I'm not sure that leaving him behind would be safer. If Callum actually didn't trust Oscar, he might have arranged for something to happen to him once I was out of the way. Or any of the other nobles might come around asking questions. No, I can't leave the palace without him. He's my responsibility, and I must not abandon him. I could never forgive myself if something went wrong without me there to defend him. And if it comes to a battle, then at least I would have someone at my back whose loyalty I could rely on. Callum I can't trust. Oscar I could never doubt. He blows out a breath. I suppose it will have to do. You may accompany me. But without your sword. I will decide if you should have one. Just remember who's in command here. Whatever you see or hear, you do what I tell you. I understand. Which isn't quite the same as a promise to obey. Callum looks at me. I expect you to keep an eye on him. I always do. Because if he betrays me, he will pay. The blunt reminder that Callum is not our new friend leaves the room silent for a moment. Should I fetch a purse then? Not funny. She doesn't like my jokes. She doesn't like my poetry either. Would you like to hear some? Oh gosh, Oscar. Will you be quiet? See, we're getting along fine. I can't help smiling along with him. Even under such tension, nothing damps his spirits for long. But my role is to be the focused and responsible one, and I'd better get back to playing it. Wait, as soon as I have some water. So, you have the ransom and you have your backup. Where do we find the secret exit? And how certain are you that it is still secret and still unguarded? What if someone's been using it? The entrance is hidden and known only to the royal family. The door beyond it is kept locked. And if you get through that, you end up somewhere that most people would not want to go. Oh? Oh, a dungeon? The underground tunnels that Callum led us to are choked with rubble and spider webs. It is visibly obvious that no one has been this way in a long time. The entrance was the worst, the stones overhead cracked and crumbling and threatening to collapse at any moment. As we've moved along, the state of repair has increased, but so has the unpleasant atmosphere. The air down here is fetid, and insects are constantly flapping at the edges of our torchlight. What is this place? Hundreds of years ago, when customs were different, these were the catacombs. The bodies of those who died in service were laid here to rot, so that even in death their spirits would remain beneath their masters. That's awful. It is the way things were. When times changed, parts of these tunnels were reworked into a sewage system that feeds into the river. That explains the bugs. And the smell. Watch yourself, little prince. Where there are insects, there are spiders, and some of them bite. As we ease along a narrow stone ledge, Callum's shoulder comes into contact with a bit of loose rubble in a wall niche, and knocks it out of place. Ooh, a pale-bellied snake dislodged from its slumber falls onto his arm and begins to writhe. Its face! Ooh! Calmly, Oscar reaches over and scoops the snake off Callum and onto the floor where it slithers away. You were saying? Oscar! Don't worry, those aren't poisonous. I think. Is it actually dangerous down here? It isn't safe, but I wouldn't have brought you if I expected it to be fatal. Did you explore here as a child? No. Once. There's nothing to see but rocks and bones and filth. There wasn't any point. No hidden treasure. Who would leave anything precious among the bodies of dead peasants? Their families. Their families were peasant families. They would have... They would have nothing of value. Unless they'd stolen it from their masters, and then they'd keep it for themselves. Thieves are not generous. You're such a cynic. There once was a sourpuss from Guelenor, who postured and puffed till he was good and sore. Oh, gosh! Do you ever stop talking? When I'm asleep? Once we leave these tunnels, it is imperative that we remain silent. There may be guards on watch. If you can't handle that, turn back now, or you'll have us all shot. Oscar's only joking with you. He wouldn't put us in danger. In the distance, I hear a kind of rustling. What was that? Bats. We're getting close now. Watch your step. Ooh, pretty river. As predicted, the dank tunnels eventually give way to a natural brook, gurgling quietly in the night. Behind us looms the deceptively calm shadow of the palace, too far away for us to see the patterns of the guards, or for them to see us. This is unknown territory, far from the roads that Oscar and I traveled. Not even a path can be seen amongst the trees and grass. We must rely upon Callum to be our guide. Uh-oh. He motions us closer and speaks in a low tone. Keep an eye out for centipedes. The bite won't kill you, but your screams would draw notice. With no further explanation, he moves out, leaving us to follow. What the heck kind of centipedes do you have here, man? Sorry, still tripping over my own tongue. Neither Oscar nor I is an expert in woodscraft, but neither are we strangers to the outdoors. Oscar in particular always loved climbing trees, or games of cache-cache in the forest. Thus, I know how to place my feet to avoid making too much noise, and which bits of brush are most likely to hide creatures who will retaliate for being disturbed. Daring robberies, ancient tunnels, and now sneaking away in the dark to save a lost princess. It's very close to being an entertaining adventure. Yes. Callum leads us along the water's edge in silence for some time, and eventually stops by a grassy bank. We'll set up camp here. Oh, music again. Camp? What about the rendezvous? It's tomorrow. We're spending the night out here? Was that not obvious? If it had been obvious earlier, we could have brought supplies. Blankets, food from the kitchen. Dinner is over. How many meals a day do they eat in Osendaware? In Osendaware, we eat a good breakfast before a hard day's work. Or fight. It's alright. Once the sun's up, we can hunt for plants. And with the stream right here, we can even fish. With no hook, line, or net? Right. Well, we can still find food. It'll be fun. This is not fun. You sound like someone I used to know in a previous game. Then what is it? If you told us more about what you were planning, we'd be better able to help you. You know enough. You know, she promised not to ask questions, but I didn't. I am not interested in your nattering. All I want to do is help Cassidy. You understand that, don't you? Aw. I liked her, and I let her down. I couldn't protect her. I owe her the best that I can give, and to do my best, I need to know what you know. You don't need anything. Please. Not even Callum can hold out against those eyes forever. I certainly couldn't. Fine, ask your questions, but I don't promise to answer. So many music changes within like 3 minutes. Do you know who it is that has Cassidy? No, but it doesn't matter. This isn't politics. This is a crime about coin. How do you know that? You don't need to know. What are you expecting to happen tomorrow? We find the location ahead of time, and the two of you put yourselves out of sight and stay there. They expect me alone. If we are betrayed, if Cass is in danger, you are my reserves. If everything goes by plan, then when Cass is safe, when they think they've won, you take them. So you are double-crossing them. You object? They are criminals. They don't deserve to get away with it. No, I agree. But there's only 3 of us. There's a limit to how much we can do. Plate pickers like these have no loyalty. I don't expect more than 1 or 2 at the most. If there's a full company, then don't waste your strength. If they are few, then show no mercy. Understood. Good. He rolls his head around his shoulders, stretching out the tension. You should get some sleep. We'll need to be up at dawn to find our position. Especially if you expect to forage. I better find some leaves for a mattress. Uh-huh. The two young men walk off in different directions, leaving me alone. So far, this doesn't seem to be turning out too badly. If Callum's telling the truth, then tomorrow we should be able to save Cassidy and bring her safely home. The palace will be in a panic from a night searching, but with the prince and princess beside us, we'll be greeted as heroes. If. Oh, I can talk to one of them. Hold on, I gotta drink some water. Alright, so I guess this is where you can branch off in the romance. I guess these two are supposed to be like the two main romance options and the rest are side, but Callum's down, I think, like number 4 on my list of guys, just because of how we met them and the order we met them. But anyway, let's go talk to Oscar, our boo. Hey, man. Oh, such nice music. I find Oscar a little ways along, seated by the stream. Despite what he said earlier, he doesn't seem to be assembling a bed, just staring into the rippling surface of the water. Hi. Hi. Aww, what a cute picture. Mindful of the damp, I take my time choosing a seat beside him. You did well with Callum. You put him at ease. You got him to open up to you, at least a little. Without your help, I wouldn't have any information at all. I do listen to you, you know, in all those lessons. Just because I don't want to spend my life manipulating people doesn't mean I can't do it. Are you calling me a manipulator? I never said you couldn't do it. No, but you were surprised, weren't you? You think I'm a child, and it's more fun sometimes acting like one. Yep, Madeleine totally thinks of you as a child. I'm trying to get her to stop, man. I don't think you're a child. Yes, you do. No? Then what is it? His eyes fall upon the amber stone which hangs around my neck. Why do you always turn me away? You said we weren't going to do this. That was then. That was before I had to listen to someone trying to kill you while I was helpless. I know he wasn't. That doesn't change how it felt to me then. How it felt to watch him force you into his hands, to stay behind while he took you away, to see you draped over him. It was nothing. Shh, I'm telling you how I feel. I thought I could be a grown-up and let you go without a fight, but I was wrong. We need to talk. My heart is hammering in my chest. We can't do this. We have to do this. I don't like either of these options. You're like a brother to me. That's like a friend thingy. Well, Madeleine was very jealous of Princess Cassidy, so I guess we'll ask. What about Cassidy? I know you love her. What about Cassidy? What about her? Aren't you in love with her? Oh gosh, Madeleine. What? I barely know her. But you do like her. You're a good match for each other. She's young and light-hearted, just like you. She's a princess and heir, and she likes you, and you're riding to her rescue. It's a classic romance. Saving someone who's been kidnapped doesn't mean I'm in love with her. I saw you together. I saw how you two looked at each other. Now you'll be her hero, and you'll probably be married, and that's good. That's great, because you're jealous. so many different kinds of music. What? You are actually jealous. Don't be ridiculous. I want you to marry Cassidy. It's the best thing for everyone. He leans in close to me, grinning like a cat who's had the cream. Oh gosh. So, you were watching me dance with Cassidy, and you weren't at all thinking that you might like to dance with me. We shouldn't be doing this. You weren't thinking that you might like to go for a walk with me somewhere nice, like a river at night. We definitely shouldn't be doing this. I have to pull away. Don't pull away. I have to. Ooh! Kiss! Aw, you guys are so adorable. First kiss. I can't think. This shouldn't happen. What do? I don't know how. Does he? I've never known how warm it would feel to... No! Ah! Sorry, Oscar. I had no control over Madeleine. I scramble backwards, away from Oscar, breaking contact. We cannot do this. Maddie. No! You are my responsibility. I work for your parents. I take care of you. I cannot do this. And you are a prince. You're a leader. You've had the best tutors. The best of everything. You want to throw away everything your parents have given you to marry me? Do you know what would happen to us? We'd starve. That's what. No home, no money, no trade. We'd have nothing. We could talk to my parents. Your parents pay me to make you desirable to other women, not to corrupt you. I've worked so hard. I've done everything right. I'm not going to let you ruin your life. This didn't happen. Marry Cassidy and be happy. I turn and walk away, ignoring anything he tries to say behind me. Oh, I have to go. I can't let him see my face. He must not see me cry. I thought I had everything under control. I thought I could let him go. I thought if I told myself I didn't love him enough times, I could make it true. It's not going to work. There's no way out. I do have feelings for Oscar, but we can never, ever be together.